Hey, everybody, it's your host, Joshua Kangley here. And today I wanted to come onto the podcast and provide some updates and also introduce to you a brand new podcast that I've been working on called Keeping the Light On, Nebraska's Missing Persons podcast. And I really just wanted to take a minute or two as an opportunity to explain why I'm doing the new podcast and then provide an introduction. Obviously, this brand new podcast, Keeping the Light On, is going to be an entirely different kind of a podcast. It's going to be highlighting missing person cases. And so as I expand and grow the Guiding Lights network, I decided this was a good way to use this platform to keep the light shining. For those of you who have been listening to me for a while now, know that primarily my shows and my episodes and my podcasts have to do with positivity, uplifting messages, sharing good news, and talking with people from all over with different backgrounds. And I'm going to continue to do that. That's a huge passion of mine. So that is going to continue. You're going to continue to see those kinds of episodes here on this podcast. Keeping the Light On is going to be an entire different podcast series. That said, it still is part of the GLN family. Again, just growing this and looking for more opportunities to keep shining a light in different ways. And to me, this is another way in which I can use this platform to shine a light. Once again, all the same episodes on this podcast you're listening to now, you're still going to find. So all the Guiding Light series, all the table talks are still going to be right here. To find Keeping the Light On, just search in Keeping the Light On, Nebraska's Missing Persons podcast, and follow wherever you like to listen to podcasts. It's going to be available on all of them. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon. For those of you interested, I invite you to check it out. I start the series in season 1 with the story of the disappearance of Tyler Goodrich. I'm still in the middle of the editing process, but the whole season will be out soon. Until then, though, here is an introduction. Again, it's Keeping the Light On, Nebraska's Missing Persons podcast, found wherever you love to listen to podcasts. Please help me help the family by liking, sharing with a friend, subscribing, or following for more. And before I get to the introduction, I just want to say thank you so much for following me on this podcast journey. Here now is the introduction to Keeping the Light On, Nebraska's Missing Persons podcast.
As much as I want that for his family, that closure, I just want it for him. Like we can't lose sight of the fact that Tyler is missing. And I think that's easy to do, right? Like we all selfishly just want closure for ourselves and for the family and for all these things. And it's like, at the end of the day, our friend is gone, missing, and we don't know what happened. And we owe that to our friend of 30 plus years to find him. And that's what I want people to know, is it is about Tyler. It's about him. And whether the outcome is not what we want, I think there's a reality to that after a year, but he still deserves to be found.
November 3rd, 2023, 1 year ago today, was to be a day like any other day for Tyler Goodrich. Tyler, husband, father of adopted children, military veteran, and Department of Corrections worker, is seen on security footage at Costco on his phone smiling and buying pizzas to take home for a family movie night. That normal November afternoon would turn out to be anything but normal, as the last trace of Tyler Goodrich would be seen running from his home into the November night. And today, exactly 1 year later, Tyler's family and friends are still looking and hoping for answers, trying to bring Tyler home. This case is one of the most mysterious cases I've seen here in the Midwest, in the state I currently live in, Nebraska. And for the last 6 months, I've been researching Tyler's case, talking with family, friends, private investigators to bring you his story, to keep a light on Tyler until we bring him home to his family, his friends, and his community. This is the story of Tyler Goodrich, brought to you by Keeping the Light On, Nebraska's Missing Persons podcast. And I'm your host, Josh Kangley. Please like, share, subscribe, and follow wherever you like to listen to podcasts so you can stay tuned for this upcoming series, where I dive in and have in-depth conversations with family, friends, and private investigators. I'm doing this podcast all on my own, but with your help, together we can keep a light on for Tyler Goodrich, and with your help, You can spread this story of Tyler Goodrich to more and more people to help this family get answers and to help bring Tyler Goodrich back home. Stay tuned for the first episode of The Disappearance of Tyler Goodrich coming soon, right here on Keeping the Light On. Keeping the Light On, Nebraska's Missing Persons podcast, is a Guiding Lights Network podcast hosted by Josh Kangley.